Welcome back to another episode of Movie Mayhem. As always, I'm Spanky.
I'm G.
Usual shout out goes to Chucky's Playground. Good place to be for a Chucky fan.
Uh-huh.
The Metal Matt podcast, link in the description. Continuing on with the news.
Mm-hmm.
Chucky 105 awesome. You know, making the sweet ass pictures and videos.
Yep.
So
That's my, like...
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll jump right into this one. Like, it's still October for us since we're recording all these in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we kind of went away from some scary movies, but we kind of want to get, you know, we're just kind of in the mood for watching more horror movies.
Since it is almost Halloween
Yeah, for us. And so we just keep watching them, and we figure, why not record some episodes for you guys, especially since we're probably watching some that you've never even heard of.
And for the first time ever, we both are virgins to this movie.
And it's probably going to be the next one. And this one was actually a mistake.
Yes,
because,
a very unhappy accident.
So, I think for the next episode, we're going to do the one we were looking for. Because it looks like it has a little more potential.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it all around before. It's like this movie called All Hallows Eve. And it has a picture for the cover of a clown. And it reminds me of Sid Haig or whatever, the Captain Spaulding.
Yeah, Captain Spaulding.
But it's not him, but it's just stuck out to me. And, you know, I was like, oh, you want to watch this movie? So, you know, I found it. And we get about 20 minutes in.
And I'm just like, there's something not right.
Yeah, and the title screen when it came up said Hallows Eve. So, you know, I thought maybe they just left out the the. But it was an actually legitimately different movie that it takes place on Halloween.
And they didn't spell Hallow right.
Well, that's how the other one spells it. I think it's
Hollow.
Like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows?
Exactly.
But anyway, this was a movie called Deathly Hallows.
No, it's not. It's called fucking Hallows Eve.
But like, yeah, so there's no the.
There's no
or All Hallows Eve is a different movie. The one we watched was Hallows Eve, and it takes place on Halloween. And we just spent like 5-10 minutes trying to read up on the internet about this movie after we watched it, because what the fuck?
It was so bad.
It has the only saving grace, which kind of kept us hooked, was the fact Danielle Harris is in it. And you know her from, I think it was Halloween 4 and 5. She played Jamie.
Yeah, and she was also in Rob Zombie's Halloween as Annie.
She was in an episode of Boy Meets World.
Yeah, because everyone just knows her for that.
It's a great show. You know, she's also in a couple other scary movies, but, you know, we see that and we're like, all right, this has potential, all right. And,
No,
and then about 20 minutes, we're like,
No, it was more like the first freaking 2 minutes.
Well, the scene, yeah, because, okay, so we'll just jump right in. The premise of this story is like, it starts out with this, like, 8-year-old girl or something, and she's collecting pumpkins in a cornfield, and these older teenagers come up and start bullying her and start covering her with, like, pumpkin guts.
Yeah.
And they start chasing her through the cornfield, and she runs into the road and gets hit by a tractor going 2 miles an hour. And it just, like... And it has her laying there in a pool of blood. And, you know, you figure she'd be dead with that much blood.
Yeah.
But, like, this whole... Then it jumps to 10 years later. But that first scene was just so horribly acted.
Yeah, it was so bad. Oh my god, she is bleeding. What are we going to do?
Yeah. It was just awful, horrible acting. Like, just... Jesus fucking Christ is bad. Like, and then, like, anyway, so it goes 10 years later, and turns out she lived, just half of her face is like...
Yeah, so it didn't look like anything happened to her damn face.
Not in, like, the flashback scene, but, of course, like, the whole left side of her face is all scarred and nasty and shit, and it's like... That's about where this movie stops making sense.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty much a revenge slasher film where you don't know exactly until the end. Like, there's some red herrings, like, you're supposed to think it's this guy or that guy, but apparently the girl's family runs, like, a haunted corn maze, haunted house.
And you see, I don't know if they're family.
Yeah.
Because, like,
That's the
the
part we can't
owner,
pick
she
up.
still refers to as Matthew, not Dad
Yeah.
or anything like that.
And, like, there's this group of teenagers and all that who are jerks, and they all get killed in various ways, and it's, like, Danielle Harris's character mentions, like, oh, well, you and your parents weren't nice to Eve. And Eve is the name of the freaky deaky girl with the messed up face. And you and your parents were so nice to Eve. So how the fuck does that work in the timeline?
I don't know. Unless those parents had kids at, like, age 6.
So, like, because one of the people that shows up, her name is Donna, and she was referred to in the flashback.
Yeah, but she was, like, 16.
Yeah, and in this one, she looks like she's fucking 40-something, and she has 2 kids.
Who are in college.
Yeah, so, I was just combing over IMDb, because there's not even a Wikipedia page for this. And every other viewer who's commented on there had no idea what's going on. But essentially, you just took it for what it is. It's just gore porn and naked chicks and...
Yeah, which you had no problem with. All here is that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just like that.
Yeah, like...
And there was some weird sex scene in there. And it was like, I don't know if it
he was
like
a dream sequence because he was stoned.
Yeah, and he had the Sanderson sisters.
They were all smoking pot and they all gave him ecstasy and had sex with him or something.
Yeah.
But, like when I saw the first kill, I was like, all right, this has potential because it's one of those over the top murder ones. Because this hooded figure grabs a chick and just starts smashing her head against like the top of a car door.
And then he removes her head and her face is peeled off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because that's what happens when you hit your fucking face on a car door.
And then the next girl gets killed. She just gets stabbed. But then as she's walking around, her like intestines fall out. And then...
menstrual cramp.
And then another chick dies by getting a pipe shoved through her. Like, she gets pushed up against a wall where a pipe impales her.
Mm-hmm.
One guy dies by getting an axe to the top of the head. One guy gets his complete head chopped off. Another guy just gets, like, the top half of his head chopped off.
I know, and it falls into the woman's hand.
That was pretty cool.
It was, like, perfect.
Another good one was, like, a girl gets power drilled. Guy that takes the power drill to her eyeball, and it shows it as he takes it out, the eyeball spinning on the drill bit. And then, like, the big one stoner guy who talks about himself in the third person, and he's like a white stoner.
Rudy!
Yeah, Rudy, he acts like he's black.
Yeah.
Like, he gets killed with, like, a miniature chainsaw. And then it kind of comes down to where this Donna character shows up at the end. She's looking for her girl. She gets chased into the woods, and it's revealed the one killer is that Matthew guy who runs this whole thing.
Because he was all pissy that Eve has a fucked up face.
And Eve is standing there, so you think Eve has some part of it. And all of a sudden, like, Danielle Harris and, like, the security guard that works with them show up, and the owner, Matthew's about to go at Donna with the chainsaw, and Danielle Harris shoots him with a shotgun. And then it shows, like, Donna in the hospital, and, like, she's having these nightmares. It's kind of like, one of the Friday the 13th movies where Tommy Jarvis is, like, having the nightmares after he gets in the hospital. But then she really does get her throat slit by someone, and I would assume that's Eve.
Yeah.
But that is all we can make out of this fucking movie.
Yeah, this movie was a complete shit show. And the first thing was, that Eve bitch is totally fucking pussy. Like, because Rudy and his friends, because I guess she's a butterface. Everything's good, butterface. Mm-hmm. And she was getting dressed. Ew. She was getting, like, dressed, and she was looking in the mirror or whatever, and then Rudy and his friends were, like, peeping in, because they're like, look at that ass. She probably got huge titties, and then they're waiting for her to turn around.
And then she turns around. She has like a Phantom of the Opera mask. She wears some shit. It's like a mask that's supposed to be like skin tone.
Yeah.
And she drops it and breaks. And like there's scenes where Danielle Harris is on the phone with probably a doctor.
Yeah.
Trying to get her another one, and she's like, "Well, you just have to wear bandages for the weekend."
Yeah.
So she kind of walks around. She does kind of come out around the teenagers, but she wears this like black bandage on the side of her face.
She looks like fucking Violet from The Incredibles.
Yeah, because she like wears her hair over her face. So,
but she was because they were like they saw her and they're like ugh, like oh my god, and like she freaked them out, and then she just started fucking hysterically crying for like 3 hours that they were afraid of her. Like bitch.
So, this is sad. This movie was fucking awful. If you're into it, like personally, yeah, I'm into these type of movies. Like, go for it. I know.
I can't sit through bad movies.
I can dig it. Well, I mean, the saving grace about it is we were able to make fun of it the entire time.
Yeah, and it was short. It was only like 70 minutes.
Yeah, it was 78 minutes. So, or something like that.
And I don't know. It's just with bad movies, typically, like, I did it for the sake of the podcast, but normally, if a fucking movie's bad within the first 10 minutes, I turn them off.
You turn off movies?
I turn off movies. I can't.
I never do. I've turned off one movie.
And what movie was that?
It was one my friend tried to recommend, and I learned it was like 2.5 hours. So that's the other factor. Like, it was like The Life Aquatic with Steve Azuzu or something.
What the fuck?
Have you ever seen like the Royal Tenenbaums?
No.
It's made by the same people. It's got like Bill Murray and Will. It's a weird ass movie. I like the Royal Tenenbaums, but not this one. But like, we got like 10 minutes in. It was hard to understand them because they're speaking with like horrible accents.
Oh, okay.
And I was watching with my friend, and like we got 10 minutes in. He loved the movie, but we had to go somewhere. 10 minutes in, I'm like, when we came back, I'm like, you know, we're not continuing that fucking movie. I'm like, there's not, no. It's fucking like, I go, how long is it? It's like 2.5. Like, if it was like an hour and 30 minutes, sure, I'd gut it out and watch it, but.
Oh, fuck no, I couldn't. That was like me when I had to fucking watch Amadeus for school, and then I fucking looked over, and then I had like 3 hours left. Shut the fuck up! I had like 3 hours left.
Amadeus.
I had 3 hours left, and I'm like, no, I can't do it. So I just read Wikipedia and did my project off of that.
You are not getting that up. What about the Tech 9 version, the rap? I'm a player, I'm a player, I'm a player.
You are not a player, okay?
It's a rap version of that song.
Oh, I know the song.
Yeah. Anyway, like, hopefully, you know, I think we're gonna try and find the movie we were originally looking for, called All Hallows Eve. Because that looks like it has a little more potential.
And it has a little bit more than 3.3 stars out of 10.
I don't know what it had on.
It had 3.3 out of 10.
I'm talking about All Hallows.
Oh, All Hallows Eve? I don't know.
Probably 3.4.
No, probably, but you know what?
4.7.
Okay, horror movies do not get a lot.
Yeah.
And
it also has nobody in it. So, that's,
yeah.
And it's also an anthology film, which is something I like.
Yeah.
And, so, I like, just quickly looking, there's a review. This is why people are afraid of clowns. So, we're going to try and find that movie. Even if it's bad, I'm going to like it more than this one.
Oh, yeah, God.
So
I'd rather watch that mouse movie.
Oh, Fievel Mousekowitz, back in old country.
Violins make money.
Yeah.
My son, Fievel.
In Soviet Russia, violin play you.
Yeah.
What a country.
Mouse eat cat.
But anyway, I mean, if you're in for a challenge and you can find... This is Hallows Eve, not All Hallows Eve. Next week, we'll be doing All Hallows Eve. So, just try and stay with us for the confusion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'll probably make the same mistake we did and watch this piece of shit. Which, if you're in for a challenge, go for it.
Yeah, it's fucking bad.
So, So thanks for bearing through it with us. We kind of, I don't know if this is more of a podcast or a venting session.
I know. Well, this is cheaper than therapy.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And, thanks for listening. And, we're going to try and get at you next week with the original intended movie.
Yeah.
So, but until then, just stay classy.
See ya.